Hi. My name is Jenny Adams, and you are watching Visionary Science Academy. In our last lecture, we studied about introduction and basic use of prepositions. Today, my colleague will help you to understand correct use of preposition at advanced level.
Comparison of prepositions. It is observed that, most of the time, preposition is misused, which affects effective writing. So, it is advisable to know when, where, and how to use a particular preposition. In order to increase understanding of preposition and its use in a sentence, comparison of some of the preposition is given below. 1. By and with. By is used for doer or agent of an action. This is usually a person, but sometimes it is also expressed by abstract noun. While with is used for instruments, materials, or tools used for an action. For example, the horse was beaten with a whip by the rider. Stick was broken by Rohan. Let me write with a pen. 2. In and after. In is used for a period of time in future. After is used for a period of past time. For example, we will be there in an hour, meaning before expiry of an hour time. I went there after a month, meaning after expiry of a month time. 3. In and within. In indicates a point at the close of a specific time, while within means a point before closure of a specific time. For example, I shall be back in a month, meaning at the end of a month. I shall be back within a month, meaning before the end of a month. 4. On and over. On indicates actual contact with some object, while over indicates away from actual contact. For example, he is sitting on a table. Clouds flew over my head. 5. On and upon. On is used for things in rest, while upon is used for things in motion. For example, he sat on a chair. A truck preying upon a car. 6. At and about. At indicates a fixed point, while about indicates proximity to a point. For example, I will see at 3 p.m. It is about 7 o'clock now. 7. Till and by. Till means not earlier than, while by means not later than. For example, I was kept waiting till 5 o'clock. I shall return home by 10 o'clock. 8. Within and by. Within is used for a period of time, while by is used for a point of time. For example, I shall submit my thesis within 10 days. He will come back by 8 o'clock. 9. In and at. In indicates a point of rest, the place where a person or a thing is within. It is also used before countries, large towns, and a period of time in future. For example, he is sitting in a chair. My books are in my bag. He lives in Europe. I will come in 2 days. While at is used for small places, minor operations, definite part of space, and definite period of time. For example, the bus stood at end of a road. My son is at school. He met me at 5 p.m. 11. At is also used with words denoting rate or degree at which a thing is done. For example, he drove the car at full speed. Milk is being sold at $2 a liter. 12. At is also used in verbs of motion. For example, dog rushed at a cat. He aimed at a bird. 13. Beside and besides. Beside means near to something, while besides means except or in addition to. For example, he stood beside the bus. Who eats such food besides a dog? He gave me a watch besides a pen. 14. Since and for. Since is used to denote a point of time, while for is used for a period of time. For example, he has been working since morning. I have not met him for 3 years. 15. By and from by is used for any point of time before the mentioned future time, while from is used for a mentioned time in future. For example, he will reach Europe by 6 o'clock in the morning. Now stop your video for 5 minutes and try to solve this exercise yourself. Now, here are some rules to find out correct position of a preposition in a sentence. Rule number 1. Preposition should be placed as near the word it governs as possible. For example, Rohail called my place at early in the morning is a wrong sentence, while Rohail called at my place early in the morning is correct sentence. Rule number 2. Preposition comes at the end of a question sentence. For example, the sentences which begins with what, who, whom, and where, etc. For example, what are you looking at? Whom did you give it to? Rule number 3. Preposition comes at the end of a passive sentence. For example, he loves being talked about. He has already been operated upon. Rule number 4. Preposition comes at the end of a clause which have infinity structure. For example, I have no pen to write with. It is a lovely place to live in. Rule number 5. Sometimes the object is placed first and the preposition at last for the purpose of emphasis. For example, he is famous all the world over. He was busy all the year round. Rule number 6. A preposition can be placed in a sentence before the word whose. For example, the woman round whose waist she had seen his arm. Now stop your video for 5 minutes and try to solve this exercise yourself. Along with the rules discussed above, there are many words with which, most of the time, a wrong preposition is used. Some of these troubling words are being discussed with their correct preposition here. Preposition in must be used with the word absorbed. For example, the sentence he was absorbed at his work is wrong, while he was absorbed in his work is correct. So as preposition at must be used with the word arrive. For example, we arrived to the village is a wrong sentence, while we arrived at the village is correct. Preposition of should be used after the word accuse. For example, she accused the man for stealing her book is a wrong sentence, and she accused the man of stealing her book is a correct sentence. Preposition of should be used after the word ashamed. For example, he is ashamed from his conduct is a wrong sentence, while he is ashamed of his conduct is a correct sentence. Preposition to should be used after the word accustomed. For example, he was accustomed with such conditions is a wrong sentence, and he was accustomed to such conditions is a correct sentence. Preposition about must be used after the word anxious. For example, I was anxious for his health is a wrong sentence, while I was anxious about his health is a correct sentence. Preposition of should be used after the word afraid. For example, he was afraid from the dog is a wrong sentence, while he was afraid of the dog is a correct sentence. Preposition at should be used after the word aimed. For example, he aimed on a lion is a wrong sentence, while he aimed at a lion is a correct sentence. Some other examples of problematic words with their appropriate preposition are given below. Now here is the list of noun words with their appropriate prepositions, verbs with their appropriate prepositions, and adjectives with their appropriate prepositions.